In the science fiction classic, The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays an evil robot sent back in time to kill the future leader of humanity. Normally, only organic substances could be sent back in time, but the robots work around this by covering their Terminators in human flesh. Now, a team of scientists is helping us to accomplish the inverse by attaching electronics directly to our skin. As detailed in the researchers' report in the August issue of the journal Science, the team has created classes of electronic systems that achieve thicknesses, effective elastic moduli, bending stiffnesses, and areal mass densities matched to the epidermis. Epidermal electronic systems, or EES, are clear patches thinner than a human hair that have wires and circuitry embedded in them. Only a few inches wide, EES patches are applied like a temporary tattoo and can carry out a wide range of functions, from measuring heart rate to acting as a microphone. To understand how EES has the power to revolutionize our lives, we will first examine the underlying technology behind EES, then study its current applications, and lastly, infer future implications. To gain a deeper understanding of EES, we will first take a look at its background and research goals, and then look at the physical properties that make it possible. EES was developed by an international team of scientists led by Dae-Hyung Kim of the University of Illinois. As detailed by newsmedical.net on August 12th, the team's goal was to create an electronic technology that could integrate with the skin in a way that is physiologically and mechanically invisible to the user, thus blurring the line between technology and biology. To accomplish such a daunting task, the team utilized serpentine-shaped electronics, or wires that have been scrunched and bundled to allow for room to bend. They then layered these wires on top of each other, creating an electronic mesh or web, which circuitry components are then placed on top of. By using this new technique, rather than traditional silicon plates, normally rigid electronics become as flexible and stretchy as we are. Now that we know the motivation behind Kim's team, it is necessary to examine the physical properties of EES that make it so unique. In addition to being incredibly flexible, Breitbart.com on August 12th states that EES does not need glues or conventional adhesives to be applied. Because the patches are so thin, intermolecular forces called van der Waals interactions are sufficient to keep EES attached, with current models lasting for up to 24 hours. Breitbart continues, stating that EES is nearly weightless and requires so little energy that it can power itself with miniature solar collectors or by picking up stray or transmitted electromagnetic radiation. This power requirement is phenomenal. Almost no current technology comes close to this level of energy efficiency. Combined with its natural adhesion and flexibility, EES becomes almost unnoticeable to the user, requiring little maintenance or upkeep. This is very important. This allows EES to be practical for people of all ages because they no longer have to worry about bulky equipment or wires. Possible benefits do not have to be weighed against physical inconveniences. EES's physical properties do a great job of fulfilling Tim's wish for technology invisible to the user. While being invisible is inherently awesome, it is not necessarily clear how this technology is revolutionary. Therefore, let's examine some of the current applications of EES. EES's most obvious uses in medical monitoring. As reported by the National Science Foundation on August 11th, EES has been shown to be able to take many kinds of medical measurements, from measuring heart rate, to brainwave and EEG reading, to being able to do small blood tests. EES is able to do all of this more effectively than conventional machinery, and is able to do so with no wires, no electrodes, no glues and adhesives, and no bulky equipment. This is very important for any sort of measurement that needs to be done over an extended period of time, such as measuring heart irregularities after a heart attack. This allows EES is able to be used without being able to hook to a conventional machinery, allowing the user to go about their daily lives. It frees them from abrasive adhesives and from the general annoyance of being hooked to cumbersome objects by tangled wires. In addition to monitoring, EES can be used to interact with the patient. As reported by i09.com, EES has been used to integrate various mechanical devices. We have also shown that these same devices can be used to stimulate muscle tissues to induce contractions. The report continues, saying that EES has also been used as a microphone. By measuring muscle movements in the participants' throats, participants were able to complete a simple voice recognition program with over 90% accuracy. Both these demonstrations showed the possibility of integrating EES with more mechanical devices, as well as the interactivity of EES. EES can do more than just track information. It can act upon the wearer or be acted upon, functioning as a new kind of machine interface. Few new technologies show the promise of EES. EES already shows amazing prospects, but let's take a look at the probable future implications of this invention: greatly increased technology in the medical field and catastrophic privacy loss. Modern medicine focuses most of its efforts on reactionary practices. While it's true many of us go to doctors for regular checkups, normally we only see our physicians after we notice a problem. EES promises to change this process, alerting us and our doctors as symptoms arise and immediately after problems occur. As reported by the New York Times on September 3rd, EES represents the next step in mHealth, or mobile health, a new field that deals with managing conditions continuously so they don't reach a crisis. This represents a shift towards preventative medicine rather than reactionary medicine, and could save patients thousands in healthcare. The Department of Veterans Affairs conducted a study in 2008 and found that patients given biometric monitoring devices that communicated to their doctors from home cut hospitalization days by almost 20% and cut healthcare costs in total by almost 80%. While biometric monitoring is currently only applicable to those with chronic illnesses, if all someone had to do to keep themselves healthy was stick an invisible patch on their arm, EES could spread across the population, revolutionizing healthcare. As the New York Times concluded, if the technology delivers as promised, then that's when we believe we'll move from sensors on people diagnosed with a disease to literally everybody. Imagine having your vital signs constantly monitored, tiny blood tests done regularly, and all of this data instantly available to you and your doctor. As symptoms arose, you could be alerted and hopefully change your behavior, hopefully averting a crisis. And problems would be found immediately when they rose. Finding a problem too late would cease to be a problem. EES promises to bring us to a new level of health. However, every coin has two sides, and EES could harm us as much as it promises to help us. The main problem with EES is how much about your medical information it tracks. By tracking so much of your medical data all the time, it could counteract its intended financial benefits. As reported by healthcarereform.gov, if you are diagnosed with a disease that is expensive to treat, insurance companies can cancel your coverage if they find you incorrectly reported your medical information upon signing up for insurance. Called rescission, this practice is meant to protect insurance companies from fraud, but is increasingly being used against unintentional errors as well as intentional errors. Insurance companies use this practice so they don't have to pay for patients with expensive diseases, such as helping somebody beat cancer. As reported by the Washington Post on August 11, 2009, some insurance companies encourage the practice so much as to include rescission of high-cost patients on employee evaluation charts. This means that people can be cut when they have an expensive disease. They can lose healthcare when they need it most. It is obvious how EES could exacerbate this problem. As long as your insurance company was privy to your information, paranoia could reach unheard of levels. Every cough, every fever, every sign of disease could cause your insurance company to change your coverage. Of course, you could always take off your EES patch, but then the insurance company might believe you had something to hide and could cancel your coverage based on lack of cooperation. If EES becomes widespread enough, people may have to make a choice between their privacy and their health. Today, we've examined the underlying properties of EES, taken a look at its current applications, and inferred future implications. As demonstrated, EES is truly revolutionary. It blurs the line between technology and biology, representing a new machine interface and